Well, hello.
You may have subscribed and followed.
How are you all? Nice to be with you. Good to be here today. Let me move this over so I can look at you. Oh. Turn my fan off. It's rumbling. Well, it's Monday morning. Brand new day, brand new week. What's going to happen this week? Well, we're on the southwest coast of Florida, and they're threatening us with a tropical storm. Well, we'll see about that. I don't know about these tropical storms. They typically amount to little or nothing. Of course, there's always the chance it could become a major conflagration and bring mayhem and chaos to all of us. We kind of got that now. It's not a whole lot different. I'm not making light of it, and I'm not making fun of it. I know it's a serious matter, and I know it's something that I need be concerned about. My roommate's telling me we need to move everything off the patio that could blow around. He didn't want to do that, neither do I. My patio, I should show it to you someday. My patio is chock-a-block with gardening tools and this and that, sundry items that have been cast there for the last 40 years. He complained to me the other day about the fact that I've landed a big wet vac on top of the pile. He said, what are you going to do about that? What about that? And I said, well, I could move it and put it in storage. I'll do that. If it bothers you that much, I'll do that. But that's about 1% of all the stuff that's out there. And the other 99% is yours. It's not mine. Well, he didn't have much to say about that. Oh, let's see who's here. Ed's picking up cichlids. Now, there's somebody I don't know a thing about. Ed's right. Naresh, good morning. Nice to see you. Ed picking up cichlids. My. Hi there. We're going to have to give you a wrench, Ed, just because you got such a cool name. Ed moderator. Roman Chirac. Good morning, Roman. Nice to see you. He's sitting out back finishing breakfast, cooking on his new outdoor gas griddle. Beautiful morning in Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania, Ed? I love Pennsylvania. I'm from Maryland. See, I don't say Pennsylvania. I say Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. That's where it is. It's Pennsylvania. Right. Pennsylvania. RB Animal Rescue. Hello. Nice to see you, colored guppies. Alex Jones. Alex, yeah, I'm doing all right. Um, for those of you who don't know, I was in the hospital Friday. I had a colonoscopy on my heart. I went to the cath lab and they put two stents in. They found two arteries going into my heart that were one of them was just blocked. It was 100% shut down. The other one about 70%. So they got stents in and opened both up. And I was kind of expecting that. I sort of figured that's what was wrong because I had absolutely no stamina. I mean, I couldn't walk 10 feet without being totally exhausted and feeling, I don't know, discomfort. So I haven't pushed it real hard yet because they make an incision that is right in a femoral artery. So you got to be careful for a couple of days. So I'm being careful, not pushing myself. But the little bit I've done has led me to believe that I think I got a handle on this. I think it's going to be better. So I'm hoping. I'll know in another day or two when I get out and start doing some serious walking. Alex Jones, did I give you a wrench? Yes, I did. You should be turning blue anytime now. Yes, there he is. Look at that. Pretty quick. Yes, I'm doing better. I'm feeling pretty good. Those of you who have been over on Discord with us, hey, Paul C., Andrew Todd, good to see you guys. Know that the recent conversations are all about leaf litter, humus, and what's this woman's name? I've got it here. Elaine Ingham. Dr. Elaine Ingham. Dr. Ingham teaches natural farming. And we're applying her lessons to aquatic farming, if you will. Tommy Denda. Hey, Tommy. Yeah, Tommy's been part of this. Joey Porsche from Northeast Tennessee. A beautiful day over there. Well, it's a beautiful day here, too. Joey, nice to have you with us. Anyway, we have we've been teaching deep substrate with soil. Now, it's been enormously effective. We haven't really understood why. We've had explanations for it, some of which have been valid and some of which have not. But the fact of what we've done has been effective. What we've done is made it possible for people to put dirt, soil, in their aquarium and cap it such that it doesn't escape into the water column and make a mess of things. Okay, we've been doing this now here on YouTube for about a year and a half. Oh, Ed's talking about leaf litter in Peru when he was there collecting in 2005. There's the secret. There's the next step. What we've been talking about biomass, talking about diversity, talking about increasing and improving the biological foundation, talking about the fact that all this needs to happen, but without a clear sense of, why am I belching? Without a clear sense of how to go about it. Now we have that. Now we understand what needs to be done. And it's all due to the work of Dr. Elaine Ingham. Ingham is Ingham. Dr. Ingham. Now, what she's teaching is a way to be able to get the appropriate kinds of bacteria and fungus and other living critters in the garden and in your fish tank. She's talking about gardening. We're talking about aquatic gardening. There are differences, but there are more similarities, more commonalities than there are differences. So here's the key. The key is two things. It's fungus, which controls certain kinds of bacteria and also brings about a breakdown of matter in a way that does not create nitrates. It does something else with nitrogen rather than creating nitrate. So with the fungus, you don't get the nitrate buildup. You also get a reduction in pH. It moves the pH down the spectrum. And that's important to control bacteria, or at least to control bacterial infections. Now, bacteria is absolutely fundamental and absolutely critical. Without it, nothing that's alive survives. Why is that? Because bacteria creates a protective shield on all living things, on our skin, on plants, on every living thing. However, unless it is controlled by fungi, by fungus, it gets out of control and it creates an environment that is susceptible to infection, susceptible to a domination by other kinds of bacteria, susceptible to environmental disaster. It can create, in other words, a foul condition because it kills. It not just protects, it also kills. It has to be controlled. Fungus acts as the control. Who knew? I mean, really. This is the most current science in the nature of understanding just how animals and vegetables, plants, survive and thrive. It's fundamental to organic gardening, and it's bringing about a revolution in organic gardening, a way of controlling weeds. Now get this, you control weeds, which for the aquarist is controlling, guess what? Algae. Controlling algae. How do you control algae? With fungus. Fungi. Fungi controls algae. It's a nitrification issue. You reduce the production of nitrates, and you produce the available food for not just algae, but also in the garden, weeds. Same principle. Ain't it great? I love it. Who else is here? Tommy Denda. Tommy is saying, hi, Tommy. Well, that's curious. Thank you for your interest in the soil food web approach. Here is a response from Dr. Elaine. I would make certain to put earthworms in your semi-aerated compost. Well, we can't put earthworms in our aquariums, but we can put the next best thing in. We can put nematodes in. And we do it in a number of different forms. We do it, for one, in the forms of microworm culture, blackworms. There are all sorts of nematodes that come into our aquarium when we bring in biological material from the wild. One of the first things that comes in is nematodes. What do? They eat bacteria, and they help to do exactly what worms do. They help to aerate the substrate, the soil, if you will. They will supply microorganisms that can tolerate being underwater all the time, as well as growing on the surfaces of your freshwater plants. Joaquin Dure, what do you recommend to cover my dwarf neon rainbow tank? Depends what kind of lights you've got. There are hoods that are made for tanks. I use glass. I'm forever on the lookout for sheets of glass. I find glass is really effective. It provides the weight that's necessary. You can slide it around, try to make it fit. I've learned how to cut glass as a way of being able to use it. It's really pretty simple. Just get up the nerve one day, buy a glass cutter. They're pretty cheap, and practice on a piece of glass. You'll find it's really quite simple. That's what I use as glass. Oh, Tommy's talking about compost for the aquarium. The inoculating with pond mud gives you all the phyto and zooplankton you need in order to have a nutrient cycle occurring in your aquarium. Ta-da! So he's talking about composting with pond mud. Now, don't go overboard with this. Don't go crazy with it. My rule of thumb is no more than 1 inch. No more. I've done more than 1 inch. I've done 2 or 3 inches and put some sand cap on it, and it exploded. You've got a limited water volume, so you can't load it up with nutrients and other biological material. It'll overwhelm the water. 1 inch. You can even do less than that, but do up to 1 inch. In a tinier tank, half an inch. You don't need a lot, and you need to cap it well. Cap it with at least 1 inch of sand in a little tiny container. In a bigger container, 2 inches of sand. Now, here's the trick. Put the sand in 1 inch at a time. 1 inch of new sand. Now, with the 2nd inch of sand, you're going to mix it up with, guess what? Leaf litter, with humus, with material that you have gathered from a pond, a creek, a stream, leaf litter that's deteriorating. Chop it up, put it in a blender, whatever, chop it up, mix it in with the sand, and put that in as the top inch cap. Then you can add a little more leaf litter on top of that for appearance and also to provide additional nutrition, because that then becomes the nutritional base for your aquarium. Changes everything. Why is that? It brings fungus in. Fungus is the key. Fungus controls nitrification. It controls pH. It controls water quality, but most importantly, it controls bacteria. There's some researchers who believe that fungus is the enemy of bacteria. There are others who say, well, not quite, but fungi certainly control the development of bacteria. So, leaf mold. It brings also a number of other animals, zooplankton and phytoplankton, into your aquarium that are necessary for the enrichment of that substrate. Okay, one more thing I want to say. Elaine. Oh, guess who's here? One Dirty Platy is here. Hello, One Dirty Platy. Yes, you're saying it's been a while. Oh, I had no idea you were citing poetry on the side. Glad to be able to join this morning. Delighted to have you. Oh, I've got some poetry on my channel. I'll have to make sure it's in the music section of my home page. I think it is. I've got a couple of pretty cool poems, one of which I wrote, one of which is actually a classic. So thanks. Nice to see you. It's been a long time since you've been here. Happy to have you back. And Jesse's here. Manes, tails, fur, and fins. Hello, Jess. Happy to have you here. Nice to have you with us. Patricia Powers. Hello, hello. And let's see if I've missed anybody. Brad Hobbies. Emily Stevens. Jackie Duray, I'm going to give you a wrench. Good to have you with us. Come on back. Be a part of this show. Relic Turtle, hi there. Oh, the cutting wheel. He's talking about cutting glass. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to keep them clean. Put a little drop of oil on them and keep them in some kind of a sheath so they stay clean and don't rust. They do it. The cutting wheel has a tendency to rust. If you keep a drop of oil or Vaseline or something on it, that'll keep it from rusting. But they're cheap enough, you can buy a new one. You know, buy them every month or 2 or 6 or however often you're using it. Tommy is saying the point is those worm castings really need to be in the substrate. Yeah, I've been mixing worm castings in with my supplement. So anybody who's getting supplement from me these days is getting worm castings. There's so many directions to go with this. One more thing I do want to say, and this is really critical. It goes to the issue of fertilizers. Liquid fertilizer. Liquid fertilizer is the enemy of a healthy, balanced living environment. Liquid fertilizer kills the very things that you want to protect and nurture and grow. Now, the Osmocote type fertilizers, the slow release, they're not nearly as dangerous. Probably on balance, they're not wonderful, but they're not nearly as dangerous as the liquid fertilizers. And we've known for a long time not to use liquid fertilizers, if only because it puts nutrients in the water column where we really don't want them. That's what generates algae, is excessive nutrients, most specifically nitrates, in the water column. But now we know it's even worse than that. Who's calling me? Richard. I need to talk to Richard. Hey, Richard. Okay, great. See you in a bit. No, he will be, though. He'll be back. Okay. We're getting our... we have no water here. We have, fortunately, gray water going to the toilets, but we've been out of water for a week. The dishes are not getting washed. I'm going to have to go out there and create a little a dishwashing container and hand clean all the dishes. We use a machine, and of course it's not working. But this is the guy who's going to redo all the plumbing for us. So, we did that. We did the thing about fertilizer, didn't we? That's good. Okay, what else we got here? Melvin Reef. Hello, Melvin Reef. Nice to see you. Northern Aquarist. Hello, Northern Aquarist. Nice to see you. We're going to give you a wrench. Down to the bottom, looks like. Hello, Natural Aquatics. Deborah Shear. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. I think James Knock. Why don't more people use their own garden soil? It's free and has everything you need. Well, it depends on the garden soil. If you're doing organic gardening, it's going to be really helpful and it'll be very beneficial. If you're doing chemical gardening, less likely to be so. If you're putting things like toxins on your garden to control insects, that's going to kill your fish. So you're going to be somewhat cautious about it. Make sure that your practices are appropriate for the use that you're putting these soils to. But you're right, James, using garden soil, providing it doesn't have toxins in it, is a perfectly reasonable and effective thing to do. Absolutely. Farham Sazali. Hello, Farham Sazali. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. I welcomed Patricia Powers, I think. Right. A natural aquarist says, I pulled up some plants and a live 2-inch earthworm came up with the roots. Tank has been up for at least 6 months. Was not an earthworm. Earthworms drown. It was some other kind of worm. Probably a 2-inch, yeah. It was a nematode. Nematodes are able to live in water. Earthworms drown in the water. But you pulled up a nematode. That's a good sign. That means you've got some really healthy soil. Never done that. That's pretty cool. One Dirty Platy says, Roman, I'm able to join due to second shot side effects. I'm unwanted at working. Well. Struggling with the second shot side effect. Oh dear. Talking to Roman, what's so he's not able to go to work because of the side effects. Well, we're hoping you pull through this and do just fine, One Dirty Platy. Just by all means, get over it, get well, and be healthy and strong. Devil Dog. Hello, Devil Dog. Patricia Powers said, I thought some plants took their nutrition from the water column or preferred that. That's true, they do. Anubias. Yes, Anubias. Anubias does. Java Fern does. There's some others that take nutrients directly from the water. They don't have roots. Stem plants don't. Stem plants have roots that take their nutrition the way terrestrial plants do, as opposed to um, orchids, for example. Orchids take their nutrition from the water that falls on the leaves that brings nutrients in. So birds poop on the leaf and it gets wet and they're able to absorb that as nutrition. The issue is if you're dosing, then you're putting 10,000 times more nutrients in that water than the plants need. They're going to get everything they need from the natural activity of the biomass in the aquarium. In fact, you want them to do that because you want them to keep the water pretty well stripped of nutrients. They're not going to go hungry. They're not going to starve. There will always be nutrients in the water column. You don't want to dose it such that you have such an abundance of nutrients that are not only nutrients but also are toxic and kill off biological material. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go that route. It's counterintuitive. It sort of makes sense until you realize what's actually happening, and then you realize, OMG, that ain't what I want to do. That ain't what I want to do at all. Here's a good example. The woman I've been talking about, you're going to have to check some of her material. Dr. Elaine Ingram. She's telling organic gardeners, for example, stop tilling your soil, chopping up the weeds, and burying them. Because all you're doing is putting all those seeds in the soil so they can sprout up that many more. What you want to do is change the constitution of the soil so that the weeds are going to have a less friendly home. And your vegetables, the plants that you want, will have a more welcoming home. Well, it's the same thing in the aquarium. We want an environment that is more conducive and friendly to the plants we want and less so to the algae that we don't want. So we do that biologically and not chemically or mechanically. Both of which have the effect of creating the very opposite environment that we are looking to create. Devil Dog! Hello, Devil Dog. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Oh, let's see. Whoops. Roman said, I didn't suffer too badly after my second dose. Just felt lazy for a couple of days. Melvin Reef. Hello, Melvin Reef. Deborah Dee Spindem. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you. Father Fish, Siamese algae eater or autosynclus? In your opinion, which is better? Well, I think part of the reason people like the autosynclus is it doesn't get as big as the Siamese algae eater or the Chinese algae eater. They can get like 4 to 5 inches. The autosynclus stays smaller. I think that's the main reason people prefer the autosynclus. It's better in a small tank. In a big tank, it's comparable to having a plecostomus. So it depends on how you're using it. Chris says the second shot does everyone dirty. Yeah. Might be a predatory nematode eating the good nematodes. Tommy says, well, that's always a possibility. Now, isn't it? How would you know? Well, I don't know. That's curious. Abolished farms. I abolished farms bettas love to eat those nematodes. You bet they do. And there are a lot of other fish that do as well. So, if you've got nematodes in your aquarium, they're going to be controlled. They're not going to take over if you've got little fish in there because they love the worms. Roman wants to come up and show his outdoor tubs. Absolutely. Let's do this. Let me get the link. And it should pop up in a minute. Terry's Tropicals, RB. One dirty platy is apple snails. Terrible with plants. Terrible. Oh, snakeheads. Ren LaRue, just saw videos. The snakeheads, and I'm in love. I know. And they're all banned. Every one of them are banned. And it's so outrageous because a lot of them don't get more than 4 inches long, 5 inches maybe, and they're banned. All snakeheads are banned. It's totally outrageous, and they're wonderful animals. Let's see. Is convinced it was an earthworm. Could have found an air pocket. I don't know. That sounds strange. Northern Aquarist. I heard a silly rumor about tiger lotus that this plant can release a toxin that will inhibit surrounding plant growth. But I see it in aquarium with other plants. What's the allopathy? Allelopathy. Talking about allelopathy. There are plants that do restrict the growth of other plants. And tiger lotus may be one. They don't restrict the growth of all other plants, however. It tends to be rather specific. I'm looking. How'd you get here, Roman? That was a good trick. I don't remember posting. I guess he found it. Hi there.
Good morning.
Nice to see you, Roman.
Nice to see you too, Father Fish. And I want to say hello to One Dirty Platy. He lives not too far from me. And just want to say hello to him and hope he feels well soon.
You bet.
So I have here in my backyard a few tubs.
This. You do indeed.
This one here is a 17-gallon, like a whiskey barrel type tub. And in here, I've got baby Odessa barbs because the adults have been spawning like mad.
Oh, nice.
I don't think you can see the baby fish or not from here.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. I can see them from here with my naked eye, but not with the camera, with the glare. But see, what I've done on the bottom, I put some light-colored plates, concrete plates, and I've seen this on another YouTube video that somebody put light-colored tiles down on the bottom of the tubs, and that way you can see the fish. Because when the bottom is dark, you can't see the fish against the when you look down into the water because there's no contact.
Light-colored sand does the same thing. Yeah.
Right. And in this tub, I've got some celestial pearl danios, and there's full of babies too. And I didn't think they would spawn because they were so tiny when I bought them in the springtime.
Wow.
But I just put them out. Now I wanted to tell people about this. People probably shun this type of
spring out. Right.
And I'm telling you, I was ready to take it out. And I put a little piece in a sour cream tub like this.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of water. And if you put a magnifying glass to that water, you're going to see so many little creatures swimming around in the water. And that's food for your baby fish.
Yep.
So I'm recommending people don't take out that hairy string algae, as ugly as you might think it is, but it's full of
Nice.
hiding places and nutrients for your baby fish.
You bet.
So that's my recommendation.
That's good advice.
Over here is
Green water.
my green water tub with mosquito larvae, which I've been harvesting out of there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not having too much mosquito production at the moment.
Are you feeding the green water to anything?
I started putting a little bit of fish food in just for just as an experiment. But I just because in the afternoon this part of the garden gets full sun.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
Are you using the green water as food for any baby fish?
I'm not. I did put some yesterday in my 10-gallon aquarium that has the oh my goodness, chili.
Chili rasbora?
Yes. I've got
Nice.
them in the house, and I took some green water and put it in there for them, and they seem to be enjoying that.
Nice.
And you can see my electric fence here, the wires there. I've got them crisscrossing over to keep the raccoons out.
Ah,
Otherwise, they keep dragging all the plants out of the water at nighttime.
right. Huh.
So it saves a lot of consternation.
Well, that's a good job.
So I'll say thank you very much for allowing me to come up.
Delightful.
And these tubs, by the way, I have them heated because at nighttime when it gets cool here in Toronto, it can get quite cool. I don't want the fish to get too chilled overnight.
How are you heating them?
I just put electric heaters in and I check the temperature every morning.
Oh, okay.
I have a thermometer here in the water so that because last year I lost a tub of fish due to a malfunction. The heater stuck on and overheated the fish. So I have to be more vigilant with that.
Bravo. That's wonderful. Love it.
Thanks very much. Take care, everybody in the fish farm.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, that's terrific. Good job, Roman. They are beautiful, aren't they? Ren LaRue says. James Knott says, I've had earthworms survive in tanks for several years. Used to feed them to a spiny eel, but the ones he didn't eat survived long after the eel died. Oh, well. I have to take your word for it. Let's see. I want to put this link. I'm going to pin the link. So if anybody else wants to come up, go up to the top of the chat, and you'll find the link there. Let's see. Oh yeah, Walrus is saying, I need a little pond now. Ponds are wonderful. They're just wonderful. I had a bunch of them here, and the park, I live in a trailer park. The park manager came around, took pictures, and thought they were awful. Well, get rid of those. Get rid of that. It's creating. It's messy. It's dirty. It's just not nice at all. So get rid of it. So I moved it where they can't find it. Karuna Koresh, beautiful tub. Yeah, just really wonderful. Sam Lucas, set up my deep substrate tank today. Good job, Sam. You now are wrenched. Welcome to the show. Let's see. Deborah Dee Dee's Fin Dan. I dirted my tank with dirt from family property, capped it with 1 to 2 inches of sand. While filling up, I saw lots of little wiggly things come up through the sand. Now little piles of dirt on top. Excuse me 1 second. He's got the front door locked.
I thought you went on the air.
No, Mondays, just 1 day a week.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Walrus is saying, add another inch of sand. Yeah, that's my advice. If it's 1 to 2, it's probably not enough sand to really cap it effectively. I know, Ren. I know. Not my choice. Rowan said the fence works great. Well worth the investment. Yeah, raccoons can be disastrous. Absolutely. Mermaid's Chorus. Hello, hello. Someday I'll have tubs and ponds too. I love them. Yes, they are wonderful. RB Animals said I found snakehead gudgeon for sale that you can keep. Nice. Very nice. Ren LaRue, our first Wallstead tank, is doing amazing. Never had any problems with it. Completely flourishing. The plants on top are overtaking it, having to keep pulling them out. Oh, I know. Particularly duckweed. Oh, wish I could control duckweed. Goldfish is the only way to do it. I've just got to get some goldfish and put them in the duckweed tanks until I can get rid of it. Roman is talking about apple snails. They do get large. They also eat plants. They are voracious plant eaters. You're not going to be able to keep plants with apple snails. James, where I live, lots of farms use electric fences. Never thought about using it for little fish ponds. Awesome idea. Sure is. I know down here we've got a lot of people who have problems with herons, with the big birds, catching the koi in their ponds. And so, this is a way to deal with that as well. So, very helpful advice. Northern Aquarius, bumblebee goby tank mates. Any big fish is going to do. Big cichlids, South American or Central American cichlids, any of the larger fish will be fine. They're not going to go after them. Bumblebee goby. Oh, I'm sorry. It said bumblebee goby, and I still had him on my brain, the snakehead goby. Bumblebees are much smaller. They don't bother anything. I've not noticed that they're particularly predaceous or aggressive. So you can keep them with small fish. I always did and never had a problem with them. Patricia's looking for frog bit. That's a common plant that grows wild here in Florida. I will get some in. I don't think I have any right. Oh, I do have some. Actually, I've got some in the 40. I have frog bit. If you want to put an order in, Patricia, I will be happy to ship you some. And I can do it for $8 shipping. It'll be $10 per portion. You might want to get 2 or 3 portions and then include $8. Buy it through PayPal, my PayPal account. It's fatherfish@fatherfish.net. Just put a note in there what you want, include the money, and I'll get it off to you. Mystery snails grab duckweed by the handful. They sure do. And everything else They will eat plants down to the roots and then dig out the roots and eat them. They're terrible. Red LaRue has frogbit and salvinia. It's a fern, nice plant. I like salvinia. I had a lot of it at the shop. One Dirty Platy has a picture of something, I don't know what. Bateson Genetics. Hello, hello. Nice to see you, Bateson. Red LaRue, I have ranchus, so I throw the extra plants in the goldfish tank and give them to neighbors who have turtles and something. The work people at Animal Rescue, maybe. Yeah, ranchus are nice. That's a good plant eater. A good duckweed eater. Jordan Fish Tanks. Good morning, Jordan. Nice to see you. Exhibit Yum. Hi, everyone. Glad to be back. I've been distracted. I got new Papillon puppy. Oh, which bigger fish gets along with cherry shrimp? None. There are no big fish that you can put with little shrimp. I'm trying to think if there are. I don't think so. Even goldfish will eat shrimp. No big fish can go with shrimp. Sorry about that. Can't do discus, can't do anything. There are no big fish that are not going to eat shrimp. I love the Papillon. Good job. That should be fun. You have to come up and show it to us someday. RB Animal Rescue. Who just said I have so much frog bit? Oh, Ren LaRue. Yeah, Walrus is saying they ought to sink less. Plecostomus. Well, Plecostomus maybe, but they probably can't catch him. So you could do plecos, ottos. I don't know if you could do red-tailed sharks or rainbow sharks. They would probably go after him. I'm sure they would. No, you did not tell us what happened with your beta sorority, Ren. You sure you want to go into this? She's got a teary face there. Alex Jones, how are the saltwater tanks doing, Father? Doing well. Let me show you. I showed him last night on the stream. I've got two. This one, which is the one with the freshwater substrate. Everything in it's doing great. The water seems to be balancing really well in here. I've got some pipefish. I haven't seen them in a day or two. There's two of them in here. And they figured out how to deal with the current, which is why we can't find them, because they're hiding in the rocks. There are a lot of little gobies in here, and blennies and stuff. A whole bunch of them. Normally they're out, but I don't see any right now. Then the other tank, this one, has everything natural in it from the sea. Water's slightly cloudy. I'm getting a little bit. I had some red algae, red bacteria slime growing on it last night. I don't see any today. This tank is not doing quite as well. It's okay. It's just going in a different direction. I think it's going to take longer for it to balance out. I've got some fish in here that I've not seen since I put them in, but I've got so much covered. It may simply be that they're hiding out. Anyway, they seem to be doing fine. Once I get out and do a little more collecting, I'll be able to add a great deal more to them. So, looking forward to that. Let's see. Ren LaRue says my opal gourami Kevin went bananas and killed everything in the tank. Oh dear, I believe that. Gouramis are extremely vicious fish. You wouldn't think so. They seem to be so gentle, but they're not at all. The large gouramis, the blue gouramis, snakeskins, opaline, they are mean animals and can become very dominant and very aggressive, particularly the males. Sorry to hear it. We learn these lessons the hard way, don't we? Jim Swan. Hello, hello, Jim. Nice to have you with us. Let's see if we can give Jim a wrench. Vanoksky. Hey, Vanoksky. Happy to see you. Good to have you with us. Does anyone, Deborah, have a Tedell HOB filter? I have two, but need to find a way to make it safe for my tank. The surface skimmer sucks up babies and can suck up skinny loaches. I can't cover the skimmer. Can you put sponge on it, like a sponge filter or some such thing? Ren says Kevin is bipolar. May just be homicidal. RB is leaving. Bye, RB. Good to have you with us. Let's see. Father Fish does not like apple shells. They must have one redeeming quality. Just keep them in bare bottoms. Well, keep them put them where you've got a duckweed problem, so long as you don't have any other plants. Northern Aquarist. Do you have any tank causing problems more than others? What's been your biggest test in the hobby business? Oh man, too many to count. I've got a tank that's having problems right now. It's the 40 breeder, and let me show you what's happening. It started about a week ago with green water. It was pea green. Now I put a bunch of leaf mulch in it and cut the lights back. You can see through it now, all the way through. So it's gotten a lot thinner, a lot less green. And I think it'll clear up in another few days. The fish don't seem to be bothered by it. I was concerned about the plants, but it didn't go on long enough to cause a problem, I don't think. So far it looks okay. I'm hoping it's going to clear up by itself. I have not done anything other than put leaf mulch in there and cut the lighting back. I did put an extraordinary amount of light on the tank, and that's when I got the green water. As to biggest tests in the hobby business, I'll tell you this, and it's really not a hobby issue. It's really a personal issue. And it goes to the ability to set aside and save. I have never been able to exercise that ability. Now, here's the weird thing. If it's an agency, there have been agencies I've run where I've been able to build up residual income. But in my personal life, if I get consumed by something like the shop, every penny I find gets thrown into it. I look back on the 10 years, the 15 years I was in that shop. If I had been, I was actually able to see it and determine. If I had been cautious and had used it as an opportunity to save money, I would I don't want to give you a number, but I would literally have had, I'll give you a number, hundreds of thousands of dollars that I spent and did not have to spend. I spent on things that, if they generated income, it was short term, and I put that money back in as well. I just kept pumping money into it, just for the sheer joy of doing it, I guess. That, I think, was the biggest thing. And, now I've got to save, and I'm in a much more difficult circumstance than I was then. I had a lot of cash flow then. I don't now. So, but that's really not got to do with fish keeping as much as it is a personal issue. And I think that's what causes problems for people anyway, is going into it with personal issues that need to be dealt with, that prevent you from being as successful as you would like to be. That's probably constantly the issue. But Trish is saying, my water is slightly cloudy. Could I wrap floss around my sponge filters? You can try it. It's not going to filter better than the sponge, but try it. Tommy says microorganisms. Excuse me. Talking about biocarb. What color the water flow on top if I put it at the bottom? Surface area in biocarb is very high. Microorganisms love to make it their home. I think it's a good idea to make some of it with the sand and shredded leaves. Never mess with it. Don't even have access to it. But I guess I gotta follow through, find out about it and use it. See what Tommy's going on about. Ren LaRue has hair algae. I do too. I've got it in my 30 long. I got in there and pulled it out. When you take it out, do it manually, but be very careful to be sure that you're getting every single thread. It'll come out in a single pull. Just go slow and be gentle, and you'll get the bulk of it out. I've got duckweed in there too. That's a real problem. That looks pretty good generally, but I got to get the duckweed out. That's next. Misfit. Have you ever tried getting a small rainbow fish to spawn, particularly paskai or any of the pseudo mcgills? I just bought a dozen pseudo mcgills, and I've got them in here. I really want to do pseudo mcgills. They're small. See if we can find them. They're also at the top of the height. There is a pygmy sunfish. Can you see him? There's a pseudo mcgill. Right there. There's another one. There's a group of them. They're kind of school. They're pretty tiny yet. It'll take a while, and they're slow growing, so it'll be a while before they get big enough to spawn. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Absolutely. White cloud minnows or pseudo mcgill in the back. I got enough of them to have a colony because I'm really excited about them. These are the paskai, which is a stunningly beautiful fish. Let's see. Ren's saying a lot of luck with their mysteries. put them in the puffer tank because it got overrun with hair algae. Moved the puffer. Now they've got 4 egg masses and babies. That's wonderful. I hate hair algae too. I've got snails in there. I've got nerites and I've got mysteries, but they're not controlling it. Maybe I just need more. James is suggesting a piece of pantyhose over that intake. Roman, I forgot to mention my tubs are still water tanks, no air or pumps of any kind. $50. Let's see. Do not buy the battery operated fence charging units. Batteries don't last. Also, GFI sockets are not good. They shut off when an animal touches the wire, disarming the system. Good to know. Jordan fish tanks. Hello, Jordan. Are you going to get coral? Yes, I am. I'm going to be getting. I'm also going to be getting macroalgae. So I'll have macroalgae. I'll have soft corals. I won't be getting stonies, but I will get the soft corals, zinnia and such stuff. Let's see. Misfit, we did that. Yeah, Northern said it's very trying to not put money into this. I guess that was the issue. You know, I spent so many years not buying things I really wanted that I just used this as an opportunity to go completely insane and to spend every penny I could put in my. It was like I was justified somehow in doing it. Oh well, I did have fun. Yeah, profit first. Yeah. My issue was I was not running it as a business. I was not running it to make money. I was running it as an extension of my hobby. So, you know, I deliberately didn't put in place the principles that would have been helpful to improve the quality of my life. Who knew? Oh, well. Let's see. DL Myth. My blue coral hyphen variatus made it. I just saw 2 fry. Must have done something right. Yeah, yes, you did. Ruby begonia. Good afternoon from Ireland. What is your favorite aquatic plant and why? Thanks very much. I think the Aponogetans. I really like the Aponogetans. They just they're such a variety, and when you throw in the other bulb plants like the lilies, temple lilies, and the Madagascar lace, the bulbs are just wonderful, really wonderful. Tommy, we'll talk about it in detail. Look forward to it, Tommy. Bye for now. Ren LaRue, dwarf puffers started to climb, talking about hair algae. Rohan, I have hair algae in the outdoor tank that looks spectacular. Well, you don't need to worry about it out there. Plus, you found it's a great source of microfauna. let's see. Northern Aquist, running it like a hobby must have been that much more enjoyable. Hoping to find a balance between that. Yeah, I really went overboard. I mean, I had several times when I had a big chunk of money, and I just put it all into it. Didn't do it all at once. I took a couple of months, but it all went back into it. I did it as a matter of course. I mean, it was like a principle I was operating by. Every penny that came in went back into it. It was short-term thinking. That's what it was. It was short-term thinking. It was not long-term thinking. I put off long-term thinking, thinking, well, if I do this now, later on, it'll be wonderful. Well, later on, it wasn't wonderful because I was in the same boat, but without the big pocket of money. Who knew? And I made it. It's too late to learn the lesson, I guess. Oh, well. Plant Life Project. What do you think about using kitty litter as a source of clay? I think it's fine. Been mixing with potting soil. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fine. It is clay. I mean, it is what it is. So make sure it does not have any deodorants in it or any other chemicals, because a lot of them do. Make sure it's pure. That it's the cheap brand, if you will. Yeah, DL Miss said his amano were slacking, eating the hair algae. Deborah Shear used kitty litter and liked it. Yeah, it's fun at first, right? Short-term thinking. True enough. Am I at the bottom? I am. 10:10. We got another 15, 20 minutes here. Fish crazy. Yeah, true enough. How about adding a pleco to that tank with the neurites for algae control? I've got one in there. I have let me show it to you. I have a bushy nose that's about 3 inches. Does a good job controlling algae, but has not been interested in the hair algae. I need to get another one. I want to see if I can breed them. I think that one's a female. Yeah, unscented, non-clumping kitty litter. Ren LaRue, we overfed our tank over time. I'm noticing buildup in the bottom. Should we gravel back that or leave it alone? You could add another inch of sand, which will provide a way for that mold to precipitate down into it. If you put more, the sand bed is full. If you add a little more sand, another inch, all of that detritus will precipitate into it. You can vac it out, but if you allow it to precipitate in, you'll be saving the nutrients that it provides. Got 2 clown plecos, and they do a better job. I'm assuming they work at night. Otherwise, they're freeloaders. Clown plecos. Yeah, they're nice. Oh, it's the old myth. Northern Aqua is appreciated by the fish. Great to see you're still streaming. We got an L144A, which caused a couple of hiccups identifying him. Quite a controversial pleco. Let's see if we get a picture of this. I think I can. Dooby-doo, where can I go to do this? The blue-eyed lemon, bristlenose. Let's get some pictures. There he is. They are groovy-looking critters, aren't they? It's not a regular bushy nose. This is a long fin. Assuming that's what you got. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that totally crazy? There's the 144. There's a female. Nuts fish. Stunning. Real deck. It's a real designer fish. The Lorax. A friend just gave me, where'd that go? Now I'm lost. Let's see. Friend just gave me his Anubias plants. How do I care for them and should I worry about them coming from his tanks? Rigo is saying. Not at all, Rigo. You want to mount them on driftwood or rock. Driftwood is preferable. I don't recommend you glue them. Tie them on with some monofilament. Don't put them in the dirt. It'll kill them. You want to. They may well have come in on something. If so, then you can just put that in your tank. But no, you should not worry about them at all. It's a great plant. You'll love it. They're attractive. Deborah's saying rinse them off and attach them to a rock or piece of wood. That's right. Cool looking fish. When Dirty Platty is leaving. Wonderful to see you. I hope you're feeling better soon and are able to get back to work. Take care, One Dirty Platty. Plant Life Project, my thinking on algae control is to add more plants instead of more fish, even algae eaters, because all fish will contribute to the bioload. Yeah, you're right about that, Plant Life Project. Absolutely. Feed less, more plants, some water changes. That controls it. And humus. Leaf litter. Leaf litter will change the conditions that are conducive to algae. Algae eaters become an old woman that swallowed the fly kind of situation. Curious, isn't it? That's funny. Alrighty. Okay, I'm kind of running out of gas here, guys. I need to, I've been up since about 3 o'clock. Does barley help control algae? I'm going to say no, not in and of itself. Barley does provide nutrition for microfauna. But I don't think it does anything particularly to probably it creates conditions for algae. I don't think it controls it. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. Patricia had a stem plant that had stem rot. So I cut the dead bits off, let it float. It seems to keep producing stem rot. Huh. That's odd. That's very odd. You cut off the dead bits, cut it back further. Cut it back substantially. Get way back, a couple of inches back from the rot. Generally, it occurs because it's in an anaerobic environment, the roots are. So I don't know why it would be doing that out of the water. Doting though 259, I have to give your dirt tank a try. Looks messy. It is the very opposite of messy, Denon. It's absolutely not messy. It is amazingly clean. I mean, look at this. Do you see anything messy other than the fact that plants are growing everywhere? But what's messy about that? And that tank has been set up as a dirted tank for 10 years, at least 10 years, maybe longer. Nothing messy about it. Thank you, Ren. Nice to see you. There, I'm back. Alex Jones. Hi, Alex Jones. Is here and gone. Alec the Nice. Alex says, see you soon. Look forward to it. Mermaid's Chorus is leaving us. Yeah, we're going to shut down here in a minute. Everyone join Discord if you haven't already. It's wonderful. You'll love it. Link is on my homepage. Can't see me. I know. Ruby wants me to be streaming again soon. I'm thinking about it. I finally realized what happened on my channel. I was doing all those little cuts from the streams, and it was creating a situation where I was getting like 200 to 300 views per one of those. So the algorithm then began defining my channel as 200 to 300 views per video. So I'm having to so I'm not doing that anymore, and I'm trying to get it pushed back up. So I think that's what happened. I don't think it was the daily streaming at all. It was what I was doing with it. Plus, it was preventing me from being able to do videos. But I think I've got a different approach to that now. I'm going to do 2 videos a week. Give each one of them 3 or 4 days and see how they do. But I'm going to get back into doing more streaming. I'm now streaming Monday morning, Friday evening at 8:30, and Sunday evening at 5:30. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm not yet, but I'll probably pick up another day, maybe Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to do it in a way that's not going to put stress on me and prevent me from being able to think things through and do other videos and such. Patricia says, I've learned so much since following you. Me too, Patricia. Thank you. George Crabtree, why do you not recommend liquid fertilizer in your previous video? We just did a big, long discussion of that, George. Watch the early part of the stream. I discussed that in detail. So I'm not putting you off. It's already there. Just go back and check it. Do you feed beef heart? I have. I don't anymore. Oh. Ren LaRue, my fish are thriving from your advice. Appreciate your mentorship. Thank you, Ren, very much. Aged tanks don't need it, George, but I can see the benefit in some situations. All right, we're down to it here. Let me see if I can pop a piece of music in here. See what I can find. All righty. Let's see. Shall we do? Yeah, let's do lead. Always fun. All right. This is an old favorite. Yeah. Colin Coutry. Coutry. Nice to see you, Colin.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Bye, all. Love you all. See you Friday. I might pop in, you never know. Keep an eye open. Bye-bye for now. Yeah. Me too, Patricia. Ah. Oh, there he is.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. fish.